Hi folks, I'm Chef Celeste and welcome to my Louisiana kitchen, where I'm going to take you around Louisiana to show you our local cuisine and the food that I've grown to love and you're going to love too. On today's episode, I am making some seared chicken with rum, and we're going to do one of our favorite sandwiches, which is the muffuletta. So stay tuned, get ready, and we are about to give you a wonderful meal, okay? Ingredients. We're going to do the chicken first because that takes the longest. So we're going to take our chicken that's already been cut into different pieces. I took a whole chicken and just broke it down. You can also get one that's already broken down. You don't have to do the work yourself, so it's okay. So we have that. I have my red onions. I'm going to move my bread out of the way real quick because the bread is actually going to be for my sandwiches. Look at this bad boy. I cannot wait to show you this here. So I'm going to put that over here. So I'm going to cut my celery, just large chunks, because we're going to put this into the pan. So we've got large chunks of celery going in. Then we have our onion. Just take the back off the onion, take the skin off the onion. We're going to do some large rough chops on here. Look at this, large dice. 1, 2, 3, nothing overly complicated. Just put it all right here. This is not trash, but look how it looks like a little flower. What I like to do if I'm doing a party tray or something like that, I'll take this here, leave the back intact, and just sit it on your board, and I'm gonna sit that right there. Look at that, doesn't that look like a little flower? So, have the tops going in. So that's my onion. Let me get some bell pepper. I'm gonna use all of my bell pepper. This is not trash, so pay attention to, this is not trash. Pay attention to what I'm doing right now. I'm going around here, okay? Cut that part off. Then go in here. This one has a big stem on here, which is fine. Now, that's all I have to put in the trash. That's all you should have to put either in the trash or the compost, okay? Don't throw half of your bell pepper away. All right, large chunks. That bread is jumping. It is ready for the sandwich. So it still has to wait though. Let me get that seed out of the way. Okay, and I'm gonna put this in a bowl in a minute, and we're gonna go back to the stove and we're gonna get to cooking. So, think about some of your favorite recipes. What do you like to cook? How can you adapt that to our Louisiana style, okay? And then that's what I want you to do. I'm gonna put this in a bowl. Let me slide it on down here. You thought I was gonna pick it up, huh? Nope, not. But I am gonna make life easy on myself and just slide, slide, slide. You can put the bowl in the sink and just slide it in the sink. It's all right here. Nice, mixed up, ready for me. So let's go on over to the stove. Let's get this chicken going. We're gonna get it seasoned up and we'll be right back. Okay, so now we're about ready to do our chicken. I have oil in the pan. The oil is already hot. So I turn the heat back down to a medium low because you don't want to splash yourself. But in here, you want to make sure you sit it down. It's gonna pop a little bit. You're gonna be okay, okay? And I'm putting this one here down, trying to be nice and dainty, but I guess I can't be nice and dainty. Let me get my chicken in. Let me get rid of these tongs, turn my water on. You're gonna go skin side down. You want that nice and crispy, okay? All right, skin side down. Let that go for a minute. I'm gonna clean my hands. Let me add my little salt in here, all my spices, my crushed red pepper. I'm putting some Mardi Gras colors in here right now because it is Mardi Gras season. That's one of the things I know you should have heard about is Mardi Gras festival. It leads up to, we have what's called Fat Tuesday. So that's where you kind of indulge a little bit before the Lenten season. And then that's where you move into your fasting, which is okay. So that goes up until Easter Sunday. So you're gonna go down there, you go to Mardi Gras in New Orleans and you just have fun, it's partying in the streets and everything. nice colorful costumes and Mardi Gras Indians, the whole 9 yards. There's balls with parades, and it's just a whole wonderful thing to watch. You can get your throws. You may even get an apron like this thrown at you. You know, just throw me something, mister. That's what you want to ask them when you go down there, and they may throw you something. So we're going to let this go for a minute. I'm going to get my tongs here. And the main thing when you're doing this here, you can't really rush it. So you want to just let this color set in for a little bit. Then I'm going to flip it over. Once we do that, it is going in the oven so that can roast while we work on our muffuletta sandwich. So that's the main thing you want to do. Just keep it going. I know I keep picking this up. It's so colorful. These are all the Mardi Gras colors. We have purple, we have green, we have a little bit of red in here. Only thing we're missing is the gold. But what I'm going to say this is the gold right here. So purple, green, gold. Mardi Gras, New Orleans, Louisiana. So come on and see us. So let's see what we're looking like here. The leg went in first. Oh yeah. Look at that. It's getting a little bit of color to it. So now, I'm going to crank it up a little bit. And everything that I'm doing right now, you could do outdoors. If you're an outdoorsman, outdoorswoman, and you like to cook, that's fine. You do it outdoors. So we're going to let that go for a minute. Add in all of my spices and my vegetables. Put that in there. I'm not going to stir it anymore. I'm just going to let it go. So I'm going to put my tongs over here. You do not want to use the tongs again with the raw chicken until after the raw chicken until you clean it. So make sure you do that. Spices are going over here. This is the rum. You can take a sip. Not out of here and pour it in. Put yourself in something separate. Pour that in. It's going to cook off. Look at that. But that's going to add that flavor in there that you want. Now, I'm going to add my cracked black pepper. Come on over here with me. Let me get my pepper. Pepper. Watch what I'm about to do. Remember, heat as much as you like, okay? I like heat. So that's what I'm doing. Look at that going on there. So one thing that I like, besides the festivals for Mardi Gras, is the good food. You come down, you get your barbecue shrimp, you get your catfish po' boys, oyster po' boys. We have some of the best seafood in the country, in the world, according to me, and Louisiana. And I'm quite sure you too when you come down and you give it a try. I'm gonna add a little bit of chili on here. I only put on my spice plates the flavors that I like. So when you're doing your spices, I want you to do the flavors that you like. But what we're gonna do, we're going to take this, we're going to cover it up, we're going to put this in the oven, we're going to let it roast, and we'll be back. Alright, so now we are talking about the granddaddy of them all when it comes to sandwiches, the muffuletta. In the ingredients we have our olive mix. Now you can buy that or you can look it up and do it. This is just olives, carrots, a lot of other seasonings. We'll have that on the website. For the meat we have genoa, we have ham, mortadella, we have mozzarella cheese and provolone. That's like your meat and your cheeses that goes on there also. Then on your bread, wherever you are, that's the kind of bread you get, okay? So we're gonna get a nice bowl. I'm gonna slice it open. You want a nice hearty bread that you're gonna put on here. So, slice that open. You hear that crunch on there? That's what you want. Look at that. A nice hearty bread. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start doing a layer on here. So I'm gonna add my ham first because I wanna put the ham. Then just go around in different layers. So like I was saying earlier, we are in Mardi Gras season right now. So that means you have your king cakes and we have all different flavors. The traditional is just our cinnamon flavor in there. Then you can have cream cheese, you got chocolate, you have strawberry. We get creative with it. Then there's always a baby in the king cake. So whoever gets the baby, they have to buy the next king cake. Okay, so just in case you didn't know, your Genoa, that's a type of salami that you're going to add in there. So now I'm putting on my mozzarella cheese. I'm just going to layer my cheese on here. And if you don't have certain ingredients there, make it as original as possible. But when you come to Louisiana, I want you to get that muffuletta sandwich. Now I'm going to add a little bit more. I'm going to add some Virginia ham on here. Just kind of pile it on here. Nice and delicious. This is one of my favorites. You can eat it hot, you can eat it cold. Traditionally, it's going to be toasted. So you want to try and keep it as close to being traditional as possible. Now, going in with another layer. Just layer all your meat, just like I'm doing meat and cheese, double meat and cheese. Just make sure you get it all in there. So, we are known for jazz. All around Louisiana, you have your brass band. That's different than your regular, it's not smooth jazz, it is a New Orleans style jazz band. That's where you had Dizzy Gillespie, you had some of the greats that came out of Louisiana. So Louis Armstrong, that's the type of music that we're talking about. Now I'm going to add one of my favorites on here, which is salami. It's locally made in Baton Rouge from Contreras Meat. That's what I say, get to know your butcher at your grocery store. They have some wonderful items for you to try. So you get in there, you'll find out what specials they have going. They'll have recipes for you. So no matter where you are, try that out. And pull up online some of your great jazz bands. I like to listen to the Michael Foster Project, pull them in. You can play that while you're on here making your muffuletta sandwiches, making your jambalaya, no matter what you're doing. Then you have your jazz party going on. Get you some beads and you're gonna be in business. Now look at this sauce going on there. I'm gonna pour that on there. I'm not gonna overload you with it because you may be a newbie, but I want you to spread it out. This is the key to the sandwich. Look at that. Let that soak in there, just like that. Now, we're going to take this here. We're going to put the lid on it, okay? That's the sandwich. I'm going to slice this so you can see what it looks like on the inside. This is enough for a family or a couple of big lumberjacks, okay? So we're gonna cut this open. And then another little thing that I like when you come, you have to check out the cemeteries. They are not like your average cemeteries. You get in there, this is just architecture at its finest. Look at that. Speaking of the sandwich, it is architecture at its finest. Yours will be too. We'll be right back. We have our sandwich together. We have our chicken braising in the oven. We're almost ready to eat. But this sandwich, as delicious as it looks right now, it is not ready. We're gonna heat it up a little bit. This is one of the things my kids love, the muffuletta sandwiches. So they love that, they love crawfish, they love to eat. Okay, so we're gonna let that go in. I'm gonna turn the heat up just a little bit on it. And all we're gonna do is just let the cheese melt. So I'm gonna put both of them in at the same time. You can do this in a panini press. I'm gonna put one right side up, one upside down. You can do it in a panini press. You can do this here in the oven. The press is actually better because you have that weight on there. So I'm going to take a cast iron skillet because you probably don't have a press at home. So if you don't have a press at home, don't fret. Just put something heavy on top, put your foil on there so that it's not really touching the top of it. You can put bricks on here or whatever. You know how you do the brick cooking. We'll talk about that later at another time. But so just let this go just right here. And this kind of reminds me of when we do the outdoor cooking, like if you have a boucherie or something like that. I'm going to turn this down a little bit now. But you see how that smoke is coming up? That's because I got that weight on there. So now I'm going to give it a turn. Let's see what we're looking like. The heat is coming. So let me get my spatula. Okay, we are still good. Cover it back up because I don't want you burning your sandwiches either. So let that go for a minute. While everything is going, I got my plates out that we're going to be ready to do. We have a salad over here. We have our rice dish going on over here that we're going to serve it, so we have a well-rounded meal. And that's one of the things that I like to do. I would cook dinner every night at home. The kids would sit around the table, we would eat. I would make, we make shrimp pasta at the restaurants a lot. So I bring a lot of shrimp pasta home. So the kids were finally like, Mom, we don't want any more shrimp pasta, because they would get that so much. But I just love to cook with Louisiana seafood. And so let me take you way back to me. I told you I grew up in Detroit watching Louisiana cooking. And one of the things that caught my eye was the one-pot cooking, and the way that the use of tomatoes, bell peppers, onions, your basic things that you should have in your house. So make sure you keep those things in there. Those are some of the things that I keep in my house at all times. That way you can always come up with a dish. Louisianians are very creative with the way that we cook. We have the influence of the French, the Creole, Africans. It all comes together to give us the wonderful food that you all come to love when you come down here to visit us in Louisiana. So let me turn this over a little bit. You see how it's starting to flatten out a little bit? The cheese is starting to melt for us, so turn it over. It's going to take a minute because your bread is kind of thick, so when you come to Louisiana and you order that muffuletta sandwich, be patient, because the deliciousness takes a little bit of time, okay? Now this is not the same as getting a po' boy. So when we get to doing the po' boys, that's what it's called. It's called a po' boy, not a poor boy, okay? Two different things. So we're gonna let this heat up, and we are gonna make some of those. So let this go for a minute. See you in a minute, and we're gonna put it all together. All right, let's put this together. I'm gonna grab the chicken out of the oven, then we're gonna plate everything up, and we're gonna eat, because you should be cooking too. All right. Be mindful of the heat when you grab this out. So, you notice I did not try and close the door all at one time. Safety first, this is very hot. So, on the plate, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to add my confetti. Remember, it's Mardi Gras time. There we go. Add a little bit of color to your plate, like that. Look how the cheese has melted on here. Put that sandwich on here. Put one hole. That's our garnish. I know you're going to eat it, but still, just make it look pretty. And let me set this right here, because I want to cut this one for you all to take some bites of. Listen to that. You hear that? Doesn't that make you want to take a bite? Right there. Put that one right on top. We need some more sprinkles. There you go. Now, you ready for some chicken? I'm ready for some chicken. Let's slide this over. Oh my goodness. Look at that. That smells amazing. I wish you could smell it. It has my mouth watering. Now, I have some jambalaya. So we have jambalaya laying around because we make jambalaya quite a bit. Let me move this out of the way. Look at that. Don't you want to bite that right now? But you have to wait. All right, look at the chicken. It's nice and braised. Look at the sauce that's going on there. So first off, I want to get my sauce and put a little bit, get some of the celery, bell peppers, all of that stuff to go with it. Put that right down on top. And yes, this is jambalaya, but it's going to add some different flavor to it from all of the flavors that came out from the chicken. If some drips on here, that's fine. We are going to clean this bad boy up. I want the breast, and I want a leg. Look how that leg has popped open right there. That's how you know when your chicken is done, if you're not using a thermometer. And let's be for real, most of you at home, you're not using a meat thermometer. And we don't want any raw chicken. So you want to get it to at least 185 degrees. Look at that. Doesn't that look amazing? I think it looks amazing. And I'm quite sure it tastes delicious. That's what we're going to do in a minute. We have our braised rum chicken, and we have our Louisiana muffuletta. Enjoy. I'm Chef Celeste, and you're watching My Louisiana Kitchen, and I will see you on our next episode.